A few people have been in touch on Twitter. They're new guitarists, never learnt to improvise before, and they're just asking, how do I start doing that? So I thought this week I'd just focus on 5 or 6 different areas that I would look at if I was just starting to learn to improvise on the guitar again. So let's get started. So the first thing I'd do is I would learn the first position pentatonic shape, which is just this one. I've done a video about this in the past, and I'll put a link to it in this video as well, just so you've got something to work on as well. But rather than trying to learn lots of scales, lots of arpeggios, lots of different positions, I just learn the one, just the first shape, and then start to understand how I can use that shape, how I can make music with it. I think it's much more important for the beginner to find their own voice than it is to start learning too many shapes. Certainly right at the start, you need to try and find a way of connecting what goes on in your head with what goes on in your fingers. And you can do that with a very simple shape like this one. The second area I'd focus on is to think about the quality of the notes that you play. You can play them straight like this, or alternatively you can start to experiment with things like vibrato. Which allows the note to feel, to my ears, much more sort of organic and alive. Just playing the notes straight like this sound a bit too clinical and a bit too, it doesn't have that human touch to it. But add a bit of vibrato and suddenly it starts to come alive. Add some string bending. And suddenly the notes that you play on the guitar start to come alive. So the third area I'd look at is to start looking at licks and lines and simple things that you can play, simple things that you can work on and drill on, just to build your skills up. So simple things like, I don't know, descending groups of 3. Or 4. The more you do these, the more these start to build into your motor skills, the more they become an unconscious sort of thing that you can just play, and the more you can start to introduce them into your playing as well, into your improvisations. What a lot of beginners don't realise is that most, in fact all accomplished improvisers have this huge vocabulary of licks and ideas and lines that they've played over the years that they have just available to them. And so when you're improvising, you're doing a combination of coming up with unique lines that maybe you've never played before and mixing those with some of these lines, this vocabulary that you've already built up. And that's how you structure the solos. So start to think about the lines that you want to play. Again, I've got another video, a few videos on this channel that may help you, and I'll link to those as well. But it's certainly worth starting to think about what lines you want to play and how you want to play them. Okay, the next area I'd focus on is just starting to play things by ear. And it doesn't matter what. It could be, I don't know, happy birthday. Can you just pick up a guitar and play that? Can you play theme tunes from the TV? Can you just have an idea in your head and get it to come out on your fingers? It's a great way of building that sort of mind muscle connection that you need if you want to start to improvise. If you want to turn the ideas that are going on in your head into things that you're playing on the guitar, use anything that you can hear. It could be the national anthem. Just see if you can do that with any tune that you can come across. Just see if you can just play it. Another thing you can do is to start to really listen to the music that you like. Not passively, but actively listening to it. Start to listen for the chord changes. Listen to the dynamics of the music. Listen to what hooks you about it. And then start to think about what would you play over the top in order to enhance that or in order to add to it. Now this is something you can do away from the guitar, and in some ways it's good to do it away from the guitar, not necessarily try to do it straight away, because you may not have the skills yet to be able to play what goes on in your head. But being able to sort of create those lines in your head will give you that seed which you can later bring to your playing on the guitar as well. And you can start to properly listen to the backing track, because you're there to enhance the music. That's what the guitarist does, that's what the best solos do. You need to be listening to the music and then playing with it and playing along through those changes in order to really bring your voice out and enhance the music you're trying to play. So the final thing I'd recommend that you do is to start learning as many songs as you can, end to end. And the internet is a huge resource for this. I mean, the kinds of things, what I would do if I'm learning a new song these days is to go on YouTube and type how to play and the song name, and the chances are there will already be a video of someone playing that and you can just learn to play it yourself. Or alternatively, go onto your favourite search engine and type the song name and tabs, and you will find the tabs almost certainly of the song that you want to play. Personally, I find the videos better than the tabs, or I find them more useful in that you get the intent from the video. The tabs, because they're just a written representation of the music, you don't necessarily know the intent of the note that's going on. The rhythm's not often very well captured on tabs as well. But when you actually see someone playing, you understand why a note's there, you understand how he's playing it, where he's positioning the hand on the neck. And you can use that to do the same thing yourself. The nice thing about the tabs, of course, is sometimes when you're watching someone play, their hand is partially obscuring the fret that they're playing on. So the tabs are a useful reference to sort of give you that clear understanding of which fret is playing, which note is playing at any one time. So having a mixture of the two is definitely worthwhile. But know it's there, take advantage of it, and learn as many songs as you can. So there you have it. There are my 6 tips on how to learn to improvise. Hopefully they will allow you to build your voice and build your connection with your instrument, and really get something out of being a guitarist. So good luck with them, and we'll chat next time. Goodbye.